What if the greatest empire in history wasn't built by warfare, but truly by printing money? Genghis Khan's grandson Kublai turned pieces of paper into gold in the 13th century. People bought palaces and fed armies with those pieces of paper, until those papers became worthless and hyperinflation completely destroyed the empire. So how is this possible? And do the roots of the money we use today really lie in those steps? Are you ready? Because this story will shock you. Hello friends, welcome to Finance Sector Channel. Today's topic is not just history, but also one of the greatest financial experiments in the world. Imagine, in the early 1200s, a nomadic people living in tents. In just 70 years, they created a giant empire stretching from the Pacific Ocean to the Black Sea. Their armies terrified millions. Cities were razed overnight. But the real question is, who financed this enormous machine? Gold? Silver? Or a completely mind-blowing different system? The answer begins with mountains of bloody war booty, then transforms into the world's first systematic taxation machine, explodes with the first global safe trade highway called Pax Mongolica, and reaches its peak with the world's first true paper money revolution. Even Marco Polo lost his mind when he saw it. These people make payments with pieces of paper and nobody objects. But every beautiful story has a dark side. That paper money first created miracles, then brought disaster. Today we are revealing the financial secret of the Mongol Empire step by step, in the most detailed way possible. From war booty to global trade, from paper money to hyperinflation. And most importantly, are the roots of the modern economic system we use today actually hidden in the tents of those steps? Let's discover it together. Watch the video until the end, because by the finale of the story, your mind will be blown. Here we go. In 1206, on the steppes, one man, Temujin, that is Genghis Khan, united all Mongol tribes under a single flag. In the following 70 to 80 years, this empire created the largest contiguous land empire in history, stretching from China to Central Europe, from Korea to Iran, from Siberia to the borders of India. So, who financed this gigantic military machine? Gold, silver, or a completely different system? The answer is actually very multi-layered. At first, war itself financed the empire, then systematic taxation came into play, and finally it reached its peak with the world's first global trade corridor and even the paper money revolution. Now let's go step by step. First phase, while financing a war, booty and tribute period, 1206 to 1227. In Genghis Khan's early years, the Mongol economy was almost entirely a war economy. The main motivation of the army was simple. Win the war, take the booty, get rich. What happened when a city fell? All precious metals, gold, silver, and jewelry were collected. Artisans, doctors, engineers were taken captive and brought to Mongolia. Herds of animals, horses, camels were plundered. Most importantly, massive tribute agreements were made with defeated rulers. That is, send us this much gold and this much silk every year, or we will come back. One of the most striking examples is the destruction of Khwarezmian Empire. Between 1219 to 1221, the Mongols captured the richest trade centers of Central Asia. The wealth brought from cities like Samarkand, Bokhara, and Urgench was so enormous that historians write, the backs of the Mongol army's pack animals were filled with silver. In this period, there was no need for complex systems like minting money or collecting taxes. War itself was printing money. But this system had one problem. When conquest stopped, income stopped too. Genghis Khan realized this and even began reforms before his death. Second phase, systematic tax order, meeting of nomadic and sedentary worlds, 1227 to 1260. After Genghis Khan's death, his son Jiaochao Khan and his grandsons, under the influence of Chinese and Uyghur advisors, moved to a much more sophisticated system. Now the empire would stand not just on plunder, but on regular revenue. The main taxes were Kupcher/Kopker, head tax on livestock for nomadic Mongols, one sheep out of every 100, one horse out of every 100, etc. This tax went directly to feeding the army. Tamga, trade tax, a percentage between 2% and 10% taken at markets, caravans, bridges, and passes. Especially Muslim and Uyghur merchants knew this tax very well. Kalen/Albin, Agricultural tax taken from sedentary populations, China, Iran, Central Asian farmers, usually a certain portion of the harvest. Censuses were conducted. Yes, the Mongols carried out modern-style censuses in the 13th century. Every household, how many people, how many animals, how much land, everything was recorded. These taxes were so systematic that in some regions tax officials, patixi, were appointed and written record were kept. Mongol finance had now evolved from plunder to state budget. Third phase, Pax Mongolica, history's first global trade security corridor, 1250 to 1350. Here comes the most fascinating part. The Mongols did something incredible in the lands they conquered. They provided peace. Historians call this Pax Mongolica, Mongol peace. What changed? The Silk Road came back to life, but this time much more secure. Merchants traveled under Mongol protection. Robbery and piracy almost disappeared. Yam system, a post station and horse changing point every 30 to 40 kilometers. Merchants could use this system for free or very low cost with official documents, pesa. Tamga tax was even reduced in many regions, or exemptions were granted to some merchants. Result? Goods started flowing from China to the Mediterranean. Silk, porcelain, spices, glass, paper, furs, horses, slaves. Trade volume between East and West exploded. European merchants like Marco Polo would write, "The Mongol lands are the safest place for trade in the world." The Mongols had actually become the world's first logistics superpower. By providing security for trade, they indirectly generated enormous revenue. Fourth phase, the world's first true paper money revolution, Kublai Khan and Jiaochao, 1260 to 1294. After completely conquering China, Kublai Khan, grandson of Genghis and founder of the Yuan Dynasty, made the most radical financial move. He made paper money the mandatory currency. This money was called Jiaochao or Chao. It was made from mulberry bark, featured dragon motifs and official seals. Its value was backed by silver, but in practice it was fiat money. The state simply said this paper is worth gold, and everyone had to accept it. When Marco Polo saw this, he couldn't believe it and wrote in his book, "These people make payments with pieces of paper and nobody objects." At first I thought they were crazy. How the system worked. Old copper coins were collected and melted. Paper notes were printed. Counterfeiters were executed. Taxes could only be paid with this paper money. For the first 10 to 15 years, it was incredibly successful. Trade became easier, the economy accelerated, and the state printed money very comfortably. But then the classic mistake was made. Due to war expenses, palace spending, gifts, and natural disasters, the dynasty overprinted money and suffered the inevitable fate that has befallen every empire that did this throughout history. Just like the Roman Empire that debased gold and silver, just like modern countries that try to escape economic bottlenecks by printing money, oversupply of money appeared. The most important factor determining the value of an object in the world is how rare it is. When something becomes too abundant, it becomes worthless. Exactly this happened in the Mongol Empire. Money became abundant and lost value. People started refusing the paper. From the 1280s onward, hyperinflation began, and it became one of the factors that prepared the end of the Yuan Dynasty. So what does Mongol financial history teach us? The Mongol Empire showed us. Wealth begins with war, but is not sustainable. An empire cannot survive without a tax system. The security of trade can be more valuable than war itself. Paper money is a powerful tool, but if not controlled, it turns into disaster. Even today, global trade routes, secure logistics, fiat money systems, and the fear of hyperinflation, somehow, all of their roots come from the tents in those steps. What do you think? If the Mongols hadn't existed, how much later would world trade have developed? Or would the paper money revolution have happened in another civilization? I'm waiting for your opinions in the comments. You can find many more financial stories like this on my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications. See you in the next video. Take care.